Hi, so I wanted to show you how I made this little book, and I'm going to make another one, but I'm challenging myself this time to make it entirely from junk mail or stuff that's come through the door. So I've got a pile of it here, but I'll just show you a quick look of this one. This one had a few bits of junk mail in. They're mostly, it's all scraps of paper really. Some book pages. That's a little postcard that came with my gouache paints. Just random bits of paper and card that I could collect around the house. This is an old book page again. And you can see I've started off here making my first few little pages. This is just some, what's that called, hessian, and a little bit of lace that I'd tacked on with my sewing machine, just stuck on the front, and I found the word poetry and I thought that's a really good description of what might be inside, some kind of poetry. And this is a page that I've just painted, a few marks, a few stencils, and some words that I found that I wanted to collage in. And some of it's fairly random and you think, what on earth does that mean? But at the time it did mean something to me. Some of it is fairly random, but this one I remember thinking, well, this is what I was praying a lot one day, for Lord to open my eyes, and so I just drew a quick picture of some eyes. This one I already had this verse from Ephesians typed out, so I just put that onto a page that I'd already painted and then just found this little image. So it's still a work in progress, but what I love about these is it's so undaunting to have a little book made of scraps that's really raw already. So I don't feel like I'm going to mess anything up because it's already a mess to start with. This is a packing tape transfer. That I just love this image and it looks really good on that background. Again, this eagle was a packing tape transfer, so I just wrote that verse on there. I was thinking about moving home for this one, and this was a square that I'd just been practicing drawing squares on with my sewing machine, so that made a nice little house, and then I pasted on just little bits of scrap paper that I'd painted for the doors and the windows. And then it was actually about a week later that I was thinking about this verse from Psalm 27. One thing I ask of the Lord, this is what I seek, that I may dwell in the house of the Lord all the days of my life, to gaze upon the beauty of the Lord and to seek him in his temple. And that just seemed to fit with this little house. So, yeah, right. So what you'll need, I mean, there aren't many things that you need. This is a really simple way of binding them together. So what I use is, this is an awl for making holes. It's a really sharp one. You can get ones, this is one I bought from a DIY store, and it's quite blunt. It still works, but I prefer this one because it's got a needle kind of end, which is why I keep it in this cork. And this is a bookbinding needle, but you can use any needle that's going to fit the thread that you're using, basically. This is a nice sturdy one with a sharp end. I'll keep that in there as well. Now, I find it easier to use waxed thread, but you can use things like embroidery thread, anything really that's fairly strong and that will fit in the eye of your needle. So this is waxed linen thread. It's quite thick, but it just fits in the eye of that needle. And I really like it. That's what I used for here. Let's find the middle. That's the middle. I've just tied it in a bow and it lies quite flat. You can manipulate it quite well because it's waxy. And I also bought this recently, thinking it was going to be a lot thicker. This is really thin, so I'm not sure. That might be better for decorating. It is waxed and it is linen, but just be aware that they can really vary in thickness. You might need a I've got completely blank mind when it comes to what this is called. What's this called? No, it's gone. Anyway, that's for making creases in your paper. And bulldog clips are useful just for clipping the paper together as you're working, but they're not essential. That's all you really need. And obviously the papers that you're going to use. I'm going to sort through my papers here. And this is all junk, basically. It's either junk mail or this is a book cover. That came with something I bought. Just a sort of piece of card. It's quite pretty already. Junk mail. What else have I got? Oh, luggage tags. I got some really cheap luggage tags. They're quite useful. They're a bit small once you bend them over, but you could get some nice little ones in there. I like luggage labels anyway for working on because they're a really nice small size, and I've started some here. Just put a layer of gesso on and then you can do what you like on them. I thought about putting little Bible verses on or some sort of reminder of something. I also tried machine stitching them together. I don't know how well that's going to stay, but that's quite nice. And actually that inside a little journal might be quite good folded over. There's another one there. I've just been playing with stencils basically. Right, so actually I think I might try having one of those in my journal. Maybe leave those for now. That's good. I'm going to reject anything that's too shiny because paint and gesso won't stick to it. I think this will be okay. This is quite slippery, so I'm not sure, but I'll give it a go. This one, so you can gesso over anything. You know, it doesn't matter what the image is. Gesso is your friend. It's an old envelope. That's a bit shiny, but I think it'll be okay. That one will be alright. Now that one I think will be too shiny, so I'm going to discard that one and that one. Envelopes are great, and that's paper, so that'll be fine. I'm just not sure whether to, I might risk one of these. I think that's too shiny. I think that one's okay. And that one. And that one. That. I'll see if I'm desperate for something I might use that one, but it seems a bit shiny. So I'm going to reject those for now. So now I've got to think about what size I want, and I do like this size. So obviously that's going to be a bit too big. So I'm going to have to go through and tear up the paper into sizes, sort of, so it's like a double spread size. But small ones are good, having little small ones inside. Just I really like the randomness of the sizes, the different ones. So I'm going to tear up these pages and then I'll come back.